Hello, welcome to another episode of Swan Bets Weekly Recap number 3. All right, I'm T. This is Danny, Travis. All right, fellas, we'll get into it, eh? What's going with nothing but the hits, our best collection of the week. Danny, what you got?
He had an EPL win. We thought Man City was over the odds. He had about $1.55, like strong over the odds. So hit it pretty hard, a little bit over 2,000. Returned about 3.4. So good solid collect on a favourite, but really undervalued favourite because of recent results.
Beautiful. Hey, that's actually a real good opportunity for us to plug this thing called Sports Market. All right, I'll leave the link down below in the comments. Sports Market is where you can go to get all the best odds. Now that game was paying $1.55.
Yeah, I got $1.55.
Is that Pinnacle? Or?
Well, there was a range of Sport Market will give you access to several different ones,
Cool.
And so I think it was actually I got a little bit at all different odds, but the average is $1.55, which was much better than what we were looking at in Australia.
Exactly, it was $1.45 on 365 in fact. Same on Sportsbet. So if you want the best odds, Sports Market's probably 90% of the time it's going to be the place to go.
It makes a big difference.
What you got?
I hit a first four. I think it was pretty late in the day on Saturday, which got me a decent little collect. I think I put 100 outlay, got 870 return on it. So
Nice.
this time of year, the exotic markets really get boosted because of the massive pools. So I might even later in the week have a bit of a special with some exotics going on. I might even do my own little thing. So keep posted. But yeah, it was a good little collect.
Sweet, man. Beautiful. All right, and my collect was tips from Black Swan Bets, actually. I multied the Chicago Bears into the Patriots going under the points total for $250, collect 1K. So that was a nice pickup. I was happy with that.
Awesome.
All right, now, favourite part, shit tips.
In your famous words of last week, I've got a series of shit tips. Pretty much everything else in the EPL except for that Man City, I think on Sunday night managed to go 0-4, and some of those were well staked. So EPL Sunday, just pick your game. I got it wrong, and it's a shit tip of the week.
Yeah, EPL wasn't kind to me either, obviously. But I'll probably go back to the AFL again in Brisbane. Whoever I tip seems to get flogged. So we were at that game in Brisbane. Brisbane did not look good from the first 5 minutes to the end. They just did not look good at all. So that was probably mine, but it's more Brisbane's fault than mine, I think.
All right. My shit tips, the Raiders. I tipped them to cover the line at +6. I was fairly confident in that actually, but the Storm came out and pumped them. They showed class from the get-go. Raiders had no answers. That's it. What's coming up for us? What are we looking forward to this week?
It's the finals, really, isn't it? It's the finals for the AFL and the NRL. I think we've all got a few different opinions as well, so we might be betting on different things. But what are you looking forward to most this weekend?
I'm looking forward to the Manikato Stakes on Friday at Moonee Valley, and then the Cox Plate on Saturday at Moonee Valley. Moonee Valley is one of my favourite tracks to bet on. The leader bias hasn't been as big in recent weeks, but I'll still probably look around for horses that are in the first half of the field because that straight's so small. They come around the corner, then race is over. So I'm looking forward to that, and mainly the rest of the Spring Carnival, really, like Melbourne Cup Day and everything like that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Plus the finals, obviously.
Yeah, the finals is the big one. We've got a week off the rugby union, so we're all in on the AFL and NRL.
Oh yeah, I'll be tuning into both actually. Tuning into both. Looking
You're not going
forward
to buy
to
tickets? They just went on sale. Public tickets for the grand final.
Oh, you guys going to go?
No.
No?
You want to go to the prelim, not the grand final,
Alright.
which we did, and it wasn't great. But
We'll give it a miss. Hey, we're on to our best low odds player of the week now.
So my one is playing on the 31st of October. It's the Wallabies to beat the All Blacks. Depending on the odds, the week after as well, we'll probably play both. I think that it's very unlikely the Wallabies don't snag one. In the professional era, they win about 45% of the games against New Zealand here. And in the recent era, where they haven't been as good, they win about 30%. So, should be the odds are 350 at Sportsbet and elsewhere, and really should be like 320. But also, this Wallabies team is better than they have been recently. And this All Blacks team is probably on par the last couple of years. So I think there's a really good value there at $3.50 or better. I think you might be able to shop it, use bonuses, whatever you can. But I think the Wallabies, they beat New Zealand more than people think over here.
Definitely in Australia, they're a big chance.
Yeah.
Better than, what was the price? $3.50.
Yeah, better than $3.50.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
I mean, I don't know where I would price that. Probably, I would think they should price it at $3.20, but yeah, I think more like $2.80, $2.90 would be the correct odds.
Well, that's the bookies, right? They're always giving themselves an edge. If they were giving themselves an edge on that game, they'll go $2.80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Travis?
I'm going to the NRL Grand Final. I'm going. Was it Melbourne 1-12?
I believe you said that.
Yeah.
To us.
Yeah.
Melbourne 1-12.
You've been saying it a lot, actually.
Yeah, you've been saying a lot of Melbourne.
Yeah,
That's
Melbourne
Melbourne
1-12. I'm fairly buoyant about it. Obviously, I am a Storm supporter as well. But what they did against Canberra, look, I didn't rate Canberra as much as I did last year, and kind of showed. But Melbourne were supremely just slick. I know Penrith pretty much had control of that game against Souths as well, even though the scoreboard looks a little closer than it probably was. Look, it'll be a close game. Storm won't. You don't think it will be. We'll get to that later. I think Melbourne Storm 1-12. It'll be a cracker. It should be a great grand final.
All right.
So yeah.
Sweet as. Stephen Crichton. This is my play. I've got Stephen Crichton at $2.70 on Sportsbet. Anytime try scorer. Okay, this guy, he is up against the Melbourne Storm. They have a very good defense, but he has a try scoring strike rate over 60%. So he scores at over 60% of games. He's paying $2.70. I just find it way over, even with the context of playing the Storm in the grand final. Best high odds play.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the NRL Grand Final as well, and it's not that I don't think it'll be a close game, but I went through and looked at all the results for the professional era, and like 12 out of 26 were not close. They were over 13. And so I think the Panthers are being undervalued. Lost one game all year, drew one game, only had a couple close games, and basically just smashed everyone for the whole season. So I think grand finals blow out a lot more than people realise. We've only got a small sample of 25, 30 games in the professional era, but we see it in all kinds of sports. They can be 1 point games, or they can just be one team just smokes them. So Penrith have been the best by a mile all year. So I think you can get $6.50 for Penrith 13 plus at Sportsbet and Ladbrokes, and I think that is Bet365 and Sportsbet, and I think that's massively over the odds. It happens way more than people realise, but the market thinks it's going to be close, so it really pushes those odds out. So Penrith 13 plus, I think, is the value. If you're a Storm fan, maybe Storm 13 plus, $4.25.
I would have given him sevens, but he's already maxed out his amount. So
yeah, I've got a full stake already on.
I would have given you sevens.
But yeah, I think as well, if you're a Storm believer, $4.25, 13 plus is also not bad, because these games grand finals do blow out a lot often than people think.
One team shows up, one team doesn't.
Yeah, there's pressure. There's all kinds of things that can happen. Scoreboard pressure, desperation. There's lots of paths to a blowout. But more often than not, it's close. But
yeah,
way more.
No, I can definitely
way
see
more
the
than the
logic.
odds. Yeah, way more than the odds would suggest.
Yeah.
When Danny says the market, he means mug punters. It means people that just love the Storm. Like, you tell me, how can the Panthers be paying $2.20? They haven't lost for. When was the last time they lost?
Start of June, early June,
and they're the underdogs. Come on,
right, so
the market swung there, definitely.
Well, Melbourne have an extra ref. They've got Cam Smith.
True, very true.
Cam Smith factor.
Yeah. What you got for us, Travis?
High odds. I'm going to the AFL Grand Final and the Norm Smith market. I'm going Shane Edwards to get the Norm Smith. Dusty is favourite and should be favourite. I actually don't mind $4.50 for Dusty. But Shane Edwards, media love him. They think he's underrated, and he probably is underrated actually. With some of the stacked guys in Richmond as well. And he's pretty fresh. He's only come back the last few weeks, and he's really getting into his work now. $21. I'll have a little piece of that. I usually float around and put a couple on in the Norm Smith medal. I think Hooley also $13 that we all kind of liked one year, and I had money on, and I thought it was home. And Dusty, got the votes because everyone loves Dusty. But
we love Dusty.
Yeah, we love Dusty as well. You know,
Dusty.
so but yeah, I think I'll get to. I think Richmond will win. We'll get to that anyway. But then I think Shane Edwards is a good value bet, $21.
Sweet. All right, my high odds play of the week, a Hail Mary touchdown, so to speak. I'm going for Dustin Martin to score 5 goals. So that's paying $101 on Sportsbet. Now, I'll preface this by saying I know nothing of AFL. I know about clutch performers, okay? So this bloke, he scored 21 goals in his last 11 finals matches. That's close to 2. He averages about just over 1 for his career. So obviously in finals, whatever happens, you know, whatever happens, happens. He really picks it up, okay? It's not a coincidence. This is not, you don't coincidentally play your best footy against the best teams with the most on the line. It's called a clutch factor, okay? You guys want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think 101. I haven't looked it up, but it sounds like there's value there. And we've seen it, like, teams are going to pick the poison. If you try to tag him, he'll just go up front and kick goals. He plays in the middle, he'll kick goals anyway, and he kicks goals in big games. So I think this is going to be a tight game. He's going to need to kick all the more, you know, because some of their forwards are more easily shut down by key defenders, but Dusty is not, because he can do it so many ways. So I think that's definitely value. There's definitely a path to him kicking that many goals.
Yeah, if anyone was going to kick a bag, it'd be Dusty, I'd say. Or, you know, maybe Tomahawk for Geelong. So I think, you know, 101, it's worth 5.
What's your prediction for this game?
Richmond, I've kind of... Geelong are nice odds again. They were nice odds against Brisbane. But I think Richmond's best is the best in the comp, and I've said that all year. Geelong, even though they played well against Brisbane, and Brisbane weren't really ever in the game, but they weren't ever out of it until late because Geelong just weren't kicking straight. It wasn't that windy there that day. It was a little breeze, but I think if you don't kick straight against Richmond, Richmond will burn you. You know, they've kicked 12-1, 12-2, you know, 14-4. Like, they're a very good goal-kicking side, and at the end of the day, that's what the game's about. It's about kicking goals. So I think if Geelong don't take their chances, Richmond win. If Geelong take their chances, it's going to be an extremely close game, which we'll get to shortly.
All right, Danny. We're up to our 5, 10, 50. What's your $5 bet for us?
AFL Grand Final. You can get $41 for it to be drawn at the end of regular time, which that is Sportsbet and Ladbrokes. 124 Grand Finals, 3 have been drawn, so that would be slightly undervalued.
Don't remind me.
But last 75 years, 3 have been drawn. So, you know, as the game's been more professional, the competition's been closer, there's been more draws, so you could say the odds should be 25, 30, and they're 41. And, you know, this seems like a game that could happen. 2 teams that are pretty hard to separate. You've got the great informed team, and you've got the team who's been the best for, 3-4 years. So, you know, it's got the hallmarks of reasons why you could lower that $41 odd mark. So, for a $5 bet, $41, you know, get us a nice $200 payout.
Yeah, it sounds really good to me. And even Geelong have been pumping teams though, right? You don't think they're going to come out and Richmond's too good for that?
Well, Geelong over the season have had the mixture of, you know, losing, pumping teams, and then a few close ones. Okay. Richmond definitely find a way to win. You know, they find a way, so it's really hard to pump them. Regular season, you might, because they just might be trying to rest or whatever, but not at this time of year. So, but like it's a grand final, there's a lot of pressure. It can, you know, just turn into a blowout. But I would think it's just so unlikely, the quality of the amount of quality players Richmond has, and then the key guys for Geelong are just so accurate with their passing, accurate with their kicking, that you think like both teams are going to hit the scoreboard. But it's a grand final.
I just thought about it as well. If you like that bet, you could probably, I don't know the odds, I haven't had a look at all, but maybe draw in any quarter as well. It might be a very close game. I know the odds were okay for that last week, but it didn't happen. But you could probably look at that as well. Yeah. Could be. Definitely.
All right, cool. I've got the $10 bet this week, and I'm going to the NRL Grand Final. We're going with Cam Smith for the Clive Churchill Medal winner at $4.50. Okay, now that might sound a little short, but Cam Smith's a very good player. He's had a great career, and a lot of his boys might be deciding who gets the medal. So if the Storm can win that game, I feel like Cam Smith should be more like, $1.10 to win, really, because, Meninga and Lockyer and all these guys, they're probably going to give it to him. Plus, he might just be the best player on the field, just legitimately because he is performing at that high level. So that's my play. Cam Smith, Clive Churchill medal winner, $4.50. You can find that on Sportsbet.
Yeah, people love a story, they love a fairy tale. So that
The narrative.
The narrative. So that's great. I think it's a great bet.
What you got?
After the 50, I was originally going to go Melbourne 1-12, then I put that as my best. So for the 50, I'm going to go Vunivalu anytime try scorer in the NRL Grand Final. Just good strike rate. Melbourne do tend to score wide early. I don't think there'll be too many tries in this game, but I think he's, either the wingers either side Melbourne are usually good value, and then you've got Addo Carr as well. But I went Vunivalu, hasn't let me down much when I've got on him, so I'll put my 50 on that. To go with the 10 as well, if you want to get a bit, I get a bit crazy around this time of year. If you think Cam Smith's going to win it, and then if you think Richmond are going to win the AFL Grand Final, you can chuck Dusty into that as a multi. I think it's paying like 22s or something. So
that sounds alright.
Yeah. So if you want to get a bit creative at this time of year and get a bit loose, I actually quite like it.
Yeah, it's definitely there. If you think two bets are value, good value, multing them is value.
Yeah,
it's only a few multi things that are not value where it goes down very quickly. But
you can look at the narratives and go, if Melbourne win, Cam Smith's a massive chance, and then if Richmond win, we've already seen that he's won a Norm Smith when he probably shouldn't have won a Norm Smith. Hawley was insane that day, and he still didn't get enough votes. So the media love Dusty. If he plays well, kicks a few goals, get 20 disposals, you can basically tick him in as long as they win.
Agree, yeah. All right, so that's the end of our tips, but we'll come to our betting tactics segment now. So we're going to talk about our bankroll today. Want to kick us?
Yeah. So I think probably there's a couple of things. One, make sure your bankroll is separate from your personal funds. That's like a golden rule, right? You shouldn't need the bankroll to pay the bills. So that's
no, your daughter's school fees.
Oh well, yeah, your daughter's school fees. That's okay, but everything else needs to be separate. And that just gives you the freedom to bet and without pressure. To make the bets you want.
Good decisions.
I think the other thing that'll be really important is try to think of your bets as percentages of your bankroll. So when you have more money, the bets will be bigger, and when you have less money, the bets will be smaller. But you're always risking a percentage, and it's up to you to take money out when you think you've got a lot, and be responsible with that. But don't think of it as this is worth 10 or 20. This should be worth a percentage. And obviously the more risky it is, the smaller the percentage. The bigger the edge, the bigger the percentage. So I think if you can think in a percentage term, that's really going to help. It's going to help you build when you're on a hot streak, and it's going to help you minimize the losing when you're on a losing streak, and which you'll probably see both. It's not just going to be a steady climb. It'll be
zigzag.
It'll be a zigzag. But I think that'll be the two things I would say. One, make sure it's completely separate. Choose an amount of money that you can go with a what you call a high risk investment strategy, and then treat it as percentages. Don't be afraid to increase your stakes as you winning, and be smart and be agile and decrease your stakes as you're losing. So it's always doing a percentage that you think is the right amount. I don't know, what do you guys got for bankroll tips?
Look, I've obviously been on both sides. I'm not going to sit here and say that I've always been a winning bettor. But the big difference is that when I've been a losing punter, it's been one, when I haven't had the funds to really, do what I should be doing. Two, not having that bankroll management. So if you don't manage your bankroll properly, and to the point where you've got spreadsheets and everything now, we've all kind of got sheets now, and putting in all the bets and seeing exactly where we're going right and wrong. It's the same thing with poker with bankroll management. They've all got bankroll management. So I think it's really key to take it seriously if you want it to be serious. If you're a recreational punter, that's fine. But if you want to take it serious and actually have the know-how to be a winning punter, then you got to look into your bankroll management. There's a few different strategies, and you find which one's best for you, and then obviously be flexible as well.
With you guys, like we could do a case study, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I had $1,000 in my bankroll, and I bet it all on the Penrith Panthers at $2.20. Now I could end up with 2.2k, or I could end up with 0, right? However, if I broke that 1k down into $100 lots, and I put $100 on the Penrith Panthers, I could end up with $220, or I could end up with 900 still active, still betting, right? That's bankroll management. That's how you split down your bankroll. So you're minimizing risk while still being able to profit.
Yeah, especially if you think that you are someone who can pick winning bets over time, not just obviously this bet will win, but you could, if you did 100 bets that you would have a profit, then you definitely want to have the money to make those 100 bets. You never want to hit 0. So always by betting part of your bankroll, you're always alive, you can get the benefits. You can keep betting, which is what you want to do.
Keep betting, build it up. All right, that's us, eh?
That's us.
Any closing remarks, fellas?
No, not really. Just it's a big weekend ahead. Make sure you got enough for your daughter's school fees.
That's it.
In the bank. So
That's it.
just gamble responsibly and have some fun with it. It's a big weekend.
That's it. Have fun, gamble responsibly. Thanks for tuning in.
See you later.